For a movie called A Quiet Place, this motherfucker was loud, wasn't it? A Quiet Place Part 2. Now, I'm going to keep this spoiler free for the most part because I know it just came out. The holidays this weekend, so a lot of people probably still haven't seen it yet. So I'm going to try to keep this as spoiler free as possible. Off rip, this movie was aight. It was aight to me. Now, that first Quiet Place was a motherfucker. Okay, the first Quiet Place was a unique experience that I've never had before. You know what I mean? I've been watching a lot of movies, but that first Quiet Place, like, it puts you in that world because it's quiet. There's no score. There's nothing but the ambiance, the trees, the little, when you walk on shit, you know, it puts you in that world. And the anxiety is like through the roof. And that's what separates this one from, the first one from the second one was that the second one had a musical score, which even though there were some very intense scenes in this movie in the second one, but I think the score kind of not dumbed it down, but it just it took away that anxiety that I really wanted to have when watching this. But my nerves were bad, don't get me wrong. Like, the jump scares would make me upset, because I hate jump scares, and when they get me, I get upset. But aside from some intense scenes in this movie, really wasn't much to it. You know, I mean, it's a follow-up to the first movie, you know, after the events of the first movie. Actually, it starts out, you know, mild spoiler here, but it starts out showing the events on how this shit got started, right? And then it goes into the present day where they're at now. And, yeah, man, me and my daughter went to go see it, and she was like, this movie wasn't all that. And I said, it wasn't all that, but I did enjoy it. This is like a one-trick pony. It's good watching it that first time. And then after that, you'll probably be watching to be like, I don't want to watch this anymore. You know, because once you know what happens, it just doesn't have that same pop. But I will say the creatures this time around, just as ugly as ever. They still move fast. I think they're more vicious in this one than they were in the first movie. And there were times where I'm like, this is PG-13, right? Because this is like some borderline rated R shit. Like, the way it was fucking people up, I'm like, are you sure this wasn't rated R? Yeah, those creatures were very fucking nasty. And I will say that it kind of put me in the mind of Stranger Things and also The Walking Dead with the whole post-apocalyptic thing. And they had something different this time because now you're seeing the aftermath of what happened with people after all this stuff went down. And not everybody's in survival mode like this family we see. There's some people that became savages and became like monsters, you know what I'm saying, after the events of this. And those are people that you don't want to be around, you know what I'm saying? So this movie's almost like a hybrid of Walking Dead and Stranger Things. Good performances, by the way, too. Cillian Murphy, I think I'm saying his name right. It's Cillian Murphy, motherfucker. Scarecrow from the Batman trilogy, the Nolan Batman trilogy. He was definitely the standout here. The deaf daughter, I thought she did pretty good. And this has to have... I don't know if I've seen this in any other movie, but this had the most intense sign language argument I've ever seen in a movie. All right? The sign language, yeah, there's a full-blown argument, but using sign language. So it's like... And I'm sitting there like, yeah, she meant that shit. Yeah, you're not going to get the same experience as the first movie because the first movie was just a really unique experience that we've never had before, and that's what made it so special. And this one here, I can't call this movie special, but it is a good addition to this franchise because, you know, another guest, mild spoiler, it does set up for another sequel, so we're going to get a third movie. And I have to say this, the ending sucked. The ending, if the ending was better, maybe I could appreciate it a little bit more, but the ending was very, how can I describe it? It was just abrupt. It just ended suddenly. You know, okay, you have something that happens, and it's like, oh shit, okay, and then roll credits. Like there's no cool down, there's no wrapping it up. You know what I'm saying? It just here's a climax, boom, and then roll credits. Wait till part 3. Yeah, I wasn't feeling the ending at all. Even what happened at the end, how it went down, it just was. And also the decisions that these characters make. Then again, I guess it can't be a horror movie without making some dumbass decisions. And there were some dumb decisions made in this movie where it pissed me off. And I'm like, how come we can't have a horror movie where the characters are intelligent? But I guess if they do that, then we can't have a horror movie, because that's where the horror and the carnage comes from, is from people doing dumb shit. But it still pisses me off. I'm wrapping it up. I'm gonna give Quiet Place Part 2. I'm gonna give it a B minus. You know, B minus, borderline C. This movie was alright. It was okay. It was okay. What you guys think about it, comment freely below. Let me know what you thought. And if you like and dig this content, hit that like and subscribe, notification bell in the corner. This is Rashad G signing out. See you in the next video.